48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice of all meetings in 2025 was provided to the township clerk, posted on the township's website, and provided to newspapers on December 26, 2024. An updated notice due to the location change of this meeting was provided to the item on April 1st, 2025, and published on April 10th. I'd like to all rise to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. SID mission statement. The purpose of the Millburn Special Improvement District is to promote, grow, and support local businesses, property owners, residents, and visitors, and to encourage the economic, cultural, and social vitality of the township through increased marketing and visibility, improved and renewed infrastructure, and local business development and engagement. May I have a roll call vote, please?
Alexa Clark, Tim Hoffman, here. Jackie Benjamin Liebenberg,
Here.
Ben Stoller, Ashley Schultz,
Here.
Richard Wasserman, here. Stephen Weiner,
Here.
Alex Zaltzman. You have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Grillo. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from June 26, 2025, both the public session and executive session in attachment 1?
Motion.
May I have a second? Second. Roll call, please.
Jackie Benjamin Liebenberg,
Yes.
Richard Wasserman, you were not present, but if you've read them, you can go.
I've printed them. Yes.
Ashley Schultz
Yes.
and Stephen Weiner.
Yes.
Madam Chair, might I just make a remark on the next two items because they're a few years old and I just want to make sure everyone knows what they're voting on. I was going through our meeting minutes, both public and executive sessions, back to the formation of the organization. And I noticed one, item B was a clerical error. And then item C was something that could be related to litigation strategy. It no longer is, so we can approve that. And so what you're looking at is May 12th, 2022. Present at that meeting was Jackie, Richard, and Stephen. The other members of the board were not appointed at that time.
Okay.
As long as our attorney is okay with it, the three of you can vote and we'll just put that in the record. All those minutes it was the approval of actually publishing a whole bunch of other executive session minutes. We just didn't approve the minutes of the approval of the minutes for some reason. So if that's all right, Tom, we'll proceed. Okay, so we'll just need a motion and a second and then a vote. It's only Jackie, Richard, and Stephen that motion.
Yeah, may I have a motion to approve May 12th, 2022 executive session attachment 2 in your packet? Second. May I have a roll call?
Jackie Benjamin Liebenberg.
Speak, yes.
She is speaking. Richard Wasserman
Yes.
and Stephen Weiner.
Yes.
And as I said, the second one is something that might have been related to litigation at the time. It no longer is. And that's from September 13th, 2022. Only Ashley and Stephen were present at that meeting. And so you guys, is that enough to?
So being present at the meeting isn't necessarily dispositive as to whether you can vote on it. If you've reviewed them and you want to approve those minutes, you can still do so. You can do that in your discretion. And then depending on what the vote is, we'll figure out if we've had enough votes for approval or not.
Very good. Okay, so we'll just need a motion in a second.
Motion.
Second.
Jackie Benjamin Liebenberg,
Yes.
Richard Wasserman,
Yes.
Ashley Schultz,
Yes.
Stephen Weiner.
Yes.
All right, that concludes the approval of the various minutes.
Terrific. Did Ashley get a chance to vote on it?
He did.
Okay, good. Okay,
Oh, I'm sorry.
so I think you read it.
You know what? I'm sorry, Ashley. I didn't read off your name for May 12th, 2022. You were not present at that meeting, but you've been provided with the minutes. Would you like to cast a vote?
Sure, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have a guest presentation this evening. Our own Bailey Mallon from Millburn's Mamas and Minis and Explore Engagement. So please, you have the podium. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm still getting over this cough. And we also have Rose Yen, who's our co-founder.
Nice.
Hello.
Hello.
So, yep, we are Millburn Mamas and Minis. Next month, we will be a 2-year-old organization. Still kind of finding our way here, and we can't thank Explore enough for all the support and helping us find our way. Thank you. So if we want to go to the next page, we kind of want to talk to you today about how your mission is aligned with ours and ways that we have worked together, ways that we could potentially work together. So we're a community of local moms, started just here in Millburn-Short Hills. We allow in all moms from all towns, both expecting and current and during season moms. Right now we have 200 active moms in the WhatsApp, 300 on our email subscribers, and now over almost 900 followers on Instagram. We have done probably closer to like 30 plus events. We made this deck a little while ago. Usually one per month. We switch on and off between whether it's just for moms and kids, and we work with local businesses on these events. And we still have 6 upcoming in 2025. So our biggest one that Explore really helped us with was the Summer Learning Festival, which took place in Town Hall Plaza. We had 200 attendees. Explore really helped us not only reserve the space, but also set up, clean up, logistics, all of that stuff. So thank you again to Explore, particularly Amanda. And then what we are best known for is our WhatsApp community, which has 30 plus subgroups. It's not just one long group chain. It's divided into subgroups based on kids' ages, interests, which town you're living in. So we do have a Millburn-Short Hills one, a larger general chat, you know, what your kids are into, feeding and nutrition, all of that fun stuff. And then we're really just focused on, you know, connections, supporting the moms in town and the nearby towns, and really just bringing people together, celebrating motherhood. Want to go to the next one?
So I'll jump in here with a little bit more about our WhatsApp community. So Bailey gave a high overview. I think the really great thing is we started out as just one single WhatsApp group with maybe a dozen messages every other day. And now we're a community, like Bailey said, of over 30 subgroups, and we're seeing 100, maybe 200 messages a day across our subgroups. So a lot of activity for sure, a lot of moms asking for advice, asking for recommendations on where to go to find this thing, or what service providers have you been to, where is the best bagels? You know, just really looking for, hey, I just moved to town, what can you guys recommend for me? I'd like to get to know the town better. So it's really exciting to see how much our WhatsApp community has grown in the last 6 months. I know we're coming up on 2 years, but it really was just about 6 months ago that we started growing our WhatsApp community, and it's definitely the way to go, and it's a great way for us to share which local businesses are great and which ones we want to support. Next slide, please. Thank you.
So our events, really what we're doing is we're Millburn Mamas and Minis. So even though we have members from all towns, we really like to drive business into town. We think it's a really wonderful place to live, great businesses, great places to eat, all of that. So our big one over the summer was Spa Month for Mamas. We reached out to all of the beauty businesses only in Millburn-Short Hills and said, hey, do you want to give some sort of discount, freebie, promo, some sort of way to get people in the door? And then we featured them on our Instagram, our website, our WhatsApp, everywhere that we have communication channels. And it happened all throughout the month of July so that moms could care for themselves, and then businesses got new customers. Summer Learning Festival we just went over. Girls Night Out sponsorship, we were part of that. We were the little fancy hair scrunchies. Our initial event, and we still do these today, is mocktail nights for Started out for pregnant mamas and now it's really for everyone. Not everyone has just a mocktail, but we still call them mocktail nights and they're always at Moonshine. Victor has been wonderful to us. We have weekly coffee chats at the Simple Fair now. We had our wonderful bagel tasting run by Rose. And Goldberg's was the winner, which got a lot of press attention. They were great, always delicious. I shop there personally. And then we've done quite a few story time events at the Book House. And our weekly ones are at Taylor Park until the weather gets cold. And then I think they're switching to Millburn Library after that. And then I think one of our most interesting ones is kind of like the network effect. Right around May, June time, people started saying, hey, is anybody joining the Millburn pool? And we all just kind of collectively decided, yes, we are. So we all would see each other there, but I think we really got a lot of people to join who maybe were on the fence of joining the Millburn pool. Then next slide. More about the Summer Learning Festival. This was our biggest event. That's why we keep talking about it. But it was really a way to celebrate learning for the kids in town. Right as we're heading back into back to school season, it was on August 24th for about 3 hours in Town Hall Plaza. A bunch of businesses, including ones from Upper Millburn Avenue, joined us. Anything that was educational related, including physical fitness, like CCATS did the physical fitness test that you do in schools. Have not had to do that in a long time. Don't know if I can touch my toes. But then we had like speech therapists, we had daycares, preschools, the library came, you name it, and everybody came to town, and then they had to do some activity that taught the kids something, and then the kids would write it down in these little books that we gave them called the Passport to Learning. And this was co-hosted with Explore Millburn-Short Hill. So next slide. How we strengthen community. We are bringing people together who wouldn't have met otherwise. If you think back to maybe when my mom was raising me, she'd always talked about her mommy group and people that she met, you know, the mommy and me classes, all the moms who, you know each other from that. That doesn't really exist anymore. So we thought when I moved here 3 years ago now, well, how am I gonna meet other moms in town? I don't know any other babies on my street. I don't know other pregnant women nearby. So we created this really so that people from all over town can really come together and have an excuse to meet each other, the kids to meet each other. The original 8 members, our kids all were born around the same time and are now growing up together. Our kids are almost 2 now. And then some mamas and minis are already in the school system and are finding early connections, carpools, who lives in the Deerfield section, who lives in Wyoming section, things like that, so they can really develop friendships outside of school. Local business and partnerships, we encourage to shop local. So, you know, Rose was mentioning, you know, who has the best what, our first conversation in the Millburn-Short Hills subgroup was who's had the favorite pizza. That was a
Contentious.
yeah, that was contentious.
Spirited.
Spirited, very spirited. We all have very different pizza tastes, but it did make me go try some other pizza places because I'm a Lestrada girl, unfortunately. And then like I said earlier, we bring people from outside of Millburn to Millburn who maybe wouldn't explore outside their own town. And then businesses gain exposure directly to, this is a high spending demographic here in Millburn-Short Hills. So when businesses want to work with us and we showcase them on our site, these are mamas who are looking for places to go in town and feel comfortable. They already know that it's been mama tested. So next slide. And then really that's it. We want to make Millburn the most family fun forward town that there is. Me and Rose personally really loved living here and we want to show others why it's such a great town to raise kids in.
So fun fact, both of our husbands grew up in town and went to Millburn High. And so, but I think both of us know Millburn better than they do now.
We do, definitely do.
I love that. How many members are you now?
We have 300, but 200 are in the WhatsApp.
200 on the WhatsApp, and how many of those 300 are Millburn? You know, Millburn-Short
Probably
Hills?
half,
I think we're getting, I think it's more like a third now.
a third now.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
We're starting to spread out a little
Branch.
bit more. yeah.
Okay, so is it Springfield, Livingston?
West Orange,
Summit,
Soma,
Chatham,
yeah.
Madison,
South Orange,
Soma.
Maplewood.
Great,
North.
I think it's terrific.
Thank you.
Really should be, and is it a subscription? Do they have to, pay to be part of this?
Totally free.
Totally free,
Yep.
wow,
How do
We
you,
believe that it should be free to fund community.
right.
how do you support your budget? I mean, do you?
We are working on that now. We did just launch a collaboration package for businesses. We've had a lot reach out and say, hey, can you put the word out about me to your members? So we do have a fee to do that.
Oh, terrific. All right, that's great. Wonderful.
And when's your next event?
That is our 2-year event, which is.
Actually, I just announced a new event,
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
October 4th is going to be our teal trick or treat. And so this is a way for really young children, like toddlers, pre-K, to practice trick or treating and start the Halloween season, and also raise awareness about the Teal Pumpkin Project.
Yeah.
So for kids who have allergies or other sort of sensitivities, knowing that a house is safe and has, allergy-friendly treats available. So all of the treats in our trick or treat event will be non-food, like stickers, temporary tattoos, bubble tubes, that sort of thing. And just and there's also craft involved too. Kids can decorate their own little pumpkin. But we're planning to raise awareness for such a great initiative across the country, Teal Pumpkin Project, while also giving our minis a chance to practice trick or treat.
And where will that that'll take place in downtown Millburn?
So,
Yes or no?
so we're actually planning to do kind of a federated approach where
Uh-huh.
it'll be smaller events at parks. So we're really
Okay.
dependent on the weather. So the Millburn-Short Hills one will be in Old Short Hills Park. They'll be really small, so probably only 10 kids or so, so kind of under the special event requirement. And then Livingston will have to find their own space, West Orange is finding their own space. But we're kind of providing a centralized model for ordering all the supplies and the organization, and then giving them the ability to kind of hold their own local event.
Well, and then we hope you will come back and join
Yeah.
us on the 31st for our trick or treat event.
Yeah.
So we just post that on our Instagram, so
Okay.
we definitely want to do that.
And do you allow, I know you talked about collaborating with local business. Do you allow local business to advertise in your WhatsApp, like banners or any of that stuff?
So that's part of our collaboration package. They would reach out to us and then we would, share what exactly do you want to happen, and there would be like a fee, either a la carte or certain packages.
Yeah, there's a couple of different options, so either hosting a dedicated community event for our members, or if they have an existing class to offer like a discount admission, that's community events, and then there's direct marketing, so being able to post a message in our WhatsApp or through us, advertising in WhatsApp or on our Instagram, or via our email listserv. And then in between that, there's also other kinds of tailored partnerships, and so sort of an ongoing partnership, getting a booth at the Summer Learning Festival. We have another large event coming up in February because the Summer Learning Festival was so popular. We're planning a Cozy Connections family fair, so less learning driven and more just general family services driven.
Okay.
And where will that take place, do you know yet?
We're trying to find a location. We were hoping for one of the school gyms or cafeterias. We'll have a bit of a hard
It's
time.
basketball season, so.
Did you go, Keller Park, Bauer Center, I don't know if it's big enough, but it's.
We did talk to them. The
Okay.
only problem is some vendors want to sell things, and that's against their rules.
I see,
Yeah,
got it.
so we're still working on it, yeah.
Okay,
Do your
Steve may
father-in-law
have an idea
Sandy,
for you.
I'm sorry?
your father-in-law Sandy Mel?
He is, yes.
Coached against him.
Oh,
All
okay.
the time, and your husband, I guess, went to Cornell also.
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, Cornell Law School, there you go.
Okay, does anybody from the board have any questions? What a wonderful presentation. Thank you for sharing all that positivity, all that good information.
Thank you.
Have you
that's
done anything
great.
with the Turtleback Zoo?
We have, yes. They were working with us. They gave us discounts at the zoo.
Nice.
We're working on trying to get volunteer opportunities with them right now.
That's always when someone moves to town.
Oh,
You
they're
always tell
great.
them if they're young kids, get a family pass.
Oh,
Oh,
yes, we
For grandma and
reminded people before the 2026 rates went up. We're like, hey, if you're interested in getting a membership, now's the time to register. Exactly what we did for the pool too.
Yes,
Good to
that's
know.
the thing that we're going back.
That's right, then. And did your moms come to the closure over the summer? Did you enjoy a music program?
Yeah, to the music program, you mean like the live?
The summer concert festival?
Yes.
Yes, we all did talk about that.
Yes.
So there were a few nights where they would get babysitters, a bunch of moms showed up. And then the dance glow party that you guys put on, a bunch of moms showed up to that.
And we provide volunteers too. So for Girls Night Out, we weren't just a sponsor, we also provided some volunteers to help with decorations and preparations.
Fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming. Okay, I have the board chair report.
One more. E,
No,
Oh,
that's
Thank
been
you.
postponed.
sorry.
Thank you so much.
So, I'd like to report that our Director of Marketing, Amanda Dean, has accepted a new position with the Montclair bid as the Assistant Director. And we want to wish her the very best of luck in her new role. And as a board, we personally want to thank her for her service and all that she's years for Explore. So, onward ho, Amanda.
Did she start?
No, she hasn't started yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, Assistant Director of the Montclair
It's a
bid.
nice jump from, what
Yes.
she's marketing to
This is
Assistant
good.
Assistant Director.
yeah.
It's a good springboard for her, and she worked hard for us, and she has my appreciation for her hard work, and hopefully she'll go on to greater and greater jobs.
And her dedication to Explore and the Millburn-Short Hills community.
Yes.
Treasurer's report.
Yes, thank you. In your package, it's attachment number 4. It's our monthly financial report. We did, of course, miss a few over the summer. This is for August 2025. Bank balance as of August 31 was $121,550 and change. A little bit updated September 8th, our balance was $117,347.23. I'll bring your attention to a couple items here. One is the special assessment. It shows 96.81% of collected for the year. It's actually a little higher than that. I'm informed we're down to 1 property owner at this point. So great job. I'm not sure if we ever get to 100% every year, but I would.
We do.
Do we? Oh, so, okay, we got 1 left.
It's literally one prop.
1 property. And then just also toward the bottom, we have as I said earlier, we have 117,000 plus in the bank. We will have an estimated balance owing through the rest of the year, a little higher than that, $137,187 and change. Now, these numbers do not reflect a number of amounts owed to us from the township. And over time, we will be getting that. For example, reimbursement on the marketing assistance for the public space. And then I think the street cleaning program is in that. bucket, or did
No,
we get-
street cleaning, we paid our portion, and then the township pays the
Okay.
vendor directly. The other item is gonna be all of the expenses related to Town Hall Plaza.
Town Hall Plaza, that's
So
right.
I submit one final invoice for all expenses, and the town will approve that repass.
And bottom line is, as projected, we're gonna be fine.
Yes.
Okay. Any questions?
I will handle the sponsor report, and then it'll be back to Stephen. You guys have a slightly out of date black and white copy in your packets. I left a report as of today. It's a colorful one in front of you. Not a huge difference, but just wanted to get you up to date. Our goal for the year was $35,000 in sponsorship. As of today, we have committed 5,000 more than that, or 5,600 more than that, with 40,641. We are still actively selling for Halloween and the Winter Villages. And I actually just secured 2 more sponsors today, so we're doing very well there. I would say by the end of the year, we'll probably be in the ballpark of 45 to 47,000 in sponsorship, which again gets to Stephen's point that we still have revenue coming in. The percentage of total is the last column. This is always interesting to look at. Town Hall Plaza was our #1 sponsorship driver at 36% of total, followed by Girls Night Out at 22, 23%. And then Upper Millburn Avenue Block Party and the Winter Villages are at a tie at the moment, just about. But then Winter Villages will likely surpass that. So our signature events are doing very well in terms of driving revenue. And we've done quite well in terms of this, and you'll see a new number projected for the 2026 budget when I show that later.
What's interesting though, for next year with the World Cup, I'm just thinking how that might impact various opportunities for sponsorship.
Yeah, I have a $10,000 goal in the budget for that specific event, and we'll see, it could exceed that, but
I'm thinking it might, I mean, depends.
Officially, when does the World Cup start?
I think it is June 15th.
Okay.
And then it runs for like 5 weeks, so it gets you to like the end of July. I'm almost positive, I could be wrong.
I'm sorry, June 15th to the end of July?
Yeah, call it something like that, Tom's looking it up, but I think that's.
You're in the right neighborhood.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's in-
And I always have harped on this in the past, but as a retailer, maybe having a digital, having a space for digital advertising on our website, I still think that there's a great opportunity.
We do sell that. We
Is
have
that,
it,
but is that listed?
it's not broken out, but it's in there. So we sold it for Girls Night Out, we sold it for.
So that's part of each subsection?
Yes. Yep, every event that we do has a web page sponsor. And so you get a banner on top of that page, so when people go to see the event schedule or whatever it is, your logo is on the top of the page.
Right.
And we've sold it, I believe, for every event.
Oh, well, that's terrific.
Because it's, if you understand how websites work, obviously, certain pages get more hits than others. And so the home page is somewhat overwhelming, right? There's a lot of information there. So what we've designed it is when you go to that specific event, right, you're looking for when is this happening, what is the time, location. It's driving people to that page automatically. So that's where you get the listing on the banner. And it's a fairly cheap sponsorship, but people get a nice little bang for it. Yeah.
All right, terrific.
But that's sold with everything we do.
Yeah,
One
I
more-
did check, it's the 11th of June to the 19th of July, so right then.
I was on for 4 days.
Terrible. Quick question, we still have $250 owed for like Girls Night Out, for example.
That is a website sponsor who has failed to pay us.
And
But
then
he has other problems,
Okay.
so we
Well, I
we
mean,
may not
and
get
then the
that.
1,500 also for Upper Milburn Avenue. Where did that, well, that was the,
Block party.
oh, I didn't miss that.
I have to look at the 1,500, I don't know
Okay.
what that is, I will double check.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is attachment 6, actually, in your package. And this is a form letter. We had spoken about this before the summer break with respect to our banking relationships and the idea to kind of reapproach the various banks in the area, hopefully within the SID, although not necessarily, and see whether we can what other services and types of accounts may be offered to us as the SID. So for our operating account, it also came into focus when we received from New Jersey the grant, right? Steve, we got the first $75,000. We were required to earn interest on that from the state. So it kind of brought into focus for us, well, gosh, why can't we try to see if we can get some interest on our regular operating accounts and other grant money. So this is a draft letter that we will be sending out soon. Jack will, under her name, will be sending out to various banks. Hopefully we get some interest. It is a fairly short time frame. We want to conclude this search by November 1 with the goal of, if we do change banks, it would be by year end. So kind of start the year off clean, January 1. The goal is to start earning some interest on our amounts. We have, what did I say, $117,000 sitting there now. Earning a little bit of interest, but I think we might be 2%. Yeah.
Yeah, just for clarification, our money, both accounts, the general operating and the Main Street, New Jersey account are housed at M&T Bank. M&T, about, I guess, 90 days ago, started the interest bearing on both accounts. It's 2% on both.
Temporarily. Is that
Yeah,
right?
my indication is that, from what I've been told, is that the 2% is gonna continue on
Great.
the
Okay.
on the general operating. Obviously, This letter is to see if there's more than 2% out there, but my indication at this point is that's gonna remain, but we will solicit.
Yep.
And find out what
And
we
it's
get.
not just the raw number, it's also the other support that the banks provide to the organization.
And we're gonna try to keep it within the bounds of the SID, or we may go outside
Ideally,
that.
yes, that would be, I'm not sure we'll be able to, but yes.
I mean, that would be
That's
ideal.
the intention. I don't know if the reality will bear fruition, but that's why we're doing this RFP to really vet what our quote unquote options are.
Right.
And then we'll make the best business decision that supports our goals and objectives. Okay.
It's no vote, that's just a discussion point, right? Yep.
Yeah, so I mean, I just have my directive that this will go out to all the banks in the SID.
As well as, you know,
And some other
some of the-
selected ones we have.
Yes, some board members have suggested others which will receive it as well, and then I hope to have these back by November 1st, that we can have a discussion at our November meeting.
Right.
And I can handle Ben's report if you'd like.
Please.
So Ben was just gonna comment on Town Hall Plaza. This was our second year of live music and events at Town Hall Plaza. Overall, you know, we added a lot of promotional and visual improvements. And so sponsorship was, as you saw, our number one driver this year was Town Hall Plaza. I think the sponsors got a lot of bang for their buck. Overall, music was well attended. We had some pretty good events, and then we had some pretty poorly attended events. The Kids Glow Party, terrific. We had circus performers, very well attended. The Mamas and Minis event, very well attended. We had some others that were very poor. And so it's not gonna be an issue next year necessarily, because we're not gonna be in Town Hall Plaza due to construction, but you know, maybe some lessons learned about how we time these things, especially in August. You know, the town does empty out, and boy, does it empty out. And so you know, that was overall, I think it was a very good experience this year. Obviously, you know, virtually all of you have attended it, and there's a great positive community vibe, and it will change for next year due to the location, but overall, really no complaints. I thought it went quite well.
The other thing I'll add is that you had exemplary.
I just need to take an emergency.
Yeah. That you had exemplary weather also. And that, I think,
Yeah, we really lucked out,
yeah, I don't think we had any rain,
Yeah.
rain delays or cancellations as a result of rain, so.
I hope we kind of take notes for 27 if we end up back there.
Right.
In terms of the most successful events versus the ones that we could change up a little bit or improve.
But a lot of people always came for the music, for the local bands.
Yeah. Had some food and
Yeah, the
some,
food, local bands, and
and in the open, they could bring up beer or whatever,
Yeah.
right? I
Yes.
think people were having wine and
Yes.
Right, and
adults.
a lot of family, a lot of our residents that stay local, you know, it's a great place for them to stay in town.
That's right.
Place for them to go and, you know, with their families, family oriented,
And socialize with their neighbors.
and it's great for our businesses to happen in town.
And one of the nights I went, actually, there were a number of Livingston people I ran into, so it's still drawing surrounding
From the
communities
community
as
as
well, yeah.
Okay, should we wait or continue with Mr. Hoffman's report?
Keep going.
Keep going,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Mr. Hoffman, your report, please.
Good evening, everybody. Don't really have a report for this evening, so
Okay.
not much to talk about there.
Okay. I would, on a personal note, construction has been temporarily stopped at Town Hall Plaza.
So they're almost done with the remediation efforts at Town Hall.
Right.
So that's been the first phase. We still will need to go out to bid later this year for the actual construction phase, which would most likely then actually take place starting next year. For the actual major part of the project.
Got it,
But remediation should be done next week.
okay, oh, that's good to hear. Okay, Mr. Slattery,
Good evening, everyone. I'll get to the three issues on the attorney's report here, but I do wanna say, I shopped local today in Millburn. My car had a dead battery. I never replaced one myself before, so I bought the battery. And when I got it home, I didn't have the right tool for the job. So I headed over to Bunchers. They were very helpful, and I spent a couple bucks here in town and was able to get the job done. Old dog learned a new trick, but shopping local was helpful, so I wanted to send my appreciation. So first item on my agenda here is the Main Street Transformation Grant MOU with the township. Their resolution approving it was adopted on September 2nd. If you'll recall, the grant provides funding for the expansion of the Complete Streets sidewalk improvement there. The MOU provides the framework for how the grant money makes its way from Explore to the township, and also provides authority for the township to oversee the sort of logistics that Explore is not really equipped to handle so well. So I believe the first payment will be due upon the township incurring debts related to the project, which I think is expected to happen next year. Steve can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But that's good news all around because we're ready to go at the moment that the moment we need to. Any questions there before I move on?
Yeah, I know we've asked about it previously, so if we get an invoice from the town.
Yeah.
We just pay off that because the validation behind the scenes that the services have been provided or whatever has all been handled by the town, we are literally writing a check off that invoice.
Effectively, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a problem, we can always raise it, but we're putting it in
But
their
we're
hands
not in a
to.
position to really.
Precisely.
Correct.
And I'm gonna report on it when it gets to the project itself, but I am on the project team with the town engineer and the business administrator, so I will know if the work got done. Yes.
Thank you.
So moving on, an update on the litigation for Bear Properties 1 and 2. In August, we were provided with an oral opinion from Judge Spencer in Bear Properties 1 and on the motions to dismiss in Bear Properties 2. The court found in favor of the township in Bear Properties 1. You'll recall we're not directly involved in that litigation, but obviously it has a significant effect on our operations. The judge made clear that based on the arguments presented, that the SID ordinance was not flawed or otherwise unconstitutional, that the plaintiffs could not rebut the presumption of the validity of the law, and that there was no conflict of interest issue with respect to then Mayor Prupus. So that's a victory for the township, which by extension helps us because it makes clear that the ordinance was adopted in a valid fashion. We've been operating under it properly ever since. In terms of Bear Properties 2, the judge dismissed all 4 counts that were alleged against the Explore defendants without prejudice. That means that the plaintiff will have an opportunity to make a motion to try to amend the complaint should they wish, in order to try to clarify what issues they're bringing and try to get past the motion to dismiss stage. Should they do so, we'll oppose it again and try to get dismissed with prejudice that time. The one catch there, the judge found in our favor at every turn on the dismissal. So the one catch there is that the judge hasn't entered an order yet. So the order is important in terms of procedure in order to deal with a motion for reconsideration, a motion to amend the complaint, or any appeals that may come later on. But for now, good news on those fronts for both cases. I also just did want to mention, it's on the agenda here, there was a civil rights violations complaint against Mr. Grillo and other parties relating to primarily for our purposes, social media posts about the litigation. I'm not going to comment on the substance of the law because it's not my place to do so, but I just want to make clear that we're aware of the complaint. I reviewed it. I don't think there's a significant cause for concern there, but we'll stay apprised and be cooperative where we need to be on that. And if there's any questions on either of those issues, let me know.
Thank you, Mr. Slattery. Mr. Grillo, Executive Director, report, please.
Yes, thank you. So as always, we do our new business, closed business. So thus far this year, we've had 21 businesses open, including 6 since our last meeting. Of note, we have welcomed Pop Blossom Studio, which is a early childhood art and education space at the former Green Door Studio in downtown. Across the street from them is a business called Gather. It's a home decor and antique shop at the corner of Millburn and Lackawanna. And CMM Interiors, which is an interior design firm, which actually shares the storefront with Gather. We also welcomed, and we are happy to announce, secured as a new sponsor for our 2 events for the remainder of the year, Beyond Young Academy, which is a tutoring and supplemental education business that is relocated to the first floor of Schoolhouse Plaza. That's actually owned and managed by 2 local residents. We've had 14 businesses closed this year, so we're still at a net positive of 7. 4 have closed since our last meeting, the AT&T store on Morris Turnpike, Sugar Bear in downtown, and then Envision or Envision in the downtown, which actually replaced by Gather. So that's a net zero. We also have 8 businesses that are under construction or under review by local boards, including CCAT's Fitness and Enzo Custom Suits on Upper Millburn, and Peel Juice Bar in downtown, the much awaited Peel Juice Bar. It's actually scheduled to open in the next 10 days or so. I onboarded the owners last week. I think when you go inside, you are going to understand why the delay occurred. It is a beautiful, beautiful space. It is remarkable. They did an incredible job, and so we're working with them on a whole bunch of marketing and partnerships, but Peel Juice Bar is gonna really look great. I'd also like to invite everyone here to the ribbon cutting for Pop Blossom Studio, which is gonna be held in partnership with the Chamber of Commerce on October 20th at 5:30, that's on Monday, and that's at 306 Millburn Avenue. I've been working very closely with Laura from Pop Blossom, and Jackie had a chance to meet with her as well, and I think that she's gonna be a really terrific addition to the town. And she's Tom Slattery's friend.
She is a friend, yes.
She's Tom Slattery's friend.
I love that.
The Upper Millburn Avenue block party happened, also we run our summer hiatus. So July 26th, thought it was a major success. We had over 1,000 people attend. There were 8 sponsors, a total of 37 businesses participated. And I'll just read off a couple of percentages that we have. Of those 37, 41% were from Upper Millburn, 32 were non-Upper Millburn but SID businesses, 19 were local community organizations, and 8 were sponsors that were non-SID businesses. And then when we looked at the participation by business, 56% of the businesses that participated 56% that participated were from Upper Millburn, 44% were from the outer district. So we did a very good job of getting the businesses on that strip to work with us on that. It's actually part of a multi-pronged, multi-year effort that we've had to draw residents from the Metropolitan to shop on Upper Millburn Avenue. But overall, I think what we're gonna do, and you'll hear in my report, is going forward, we're gonna start to phase out some of these larger community type events and focus more on direct shopping events. And so we'll talk a little bit about that in my budget presentation. The Halloween trick or treat is scheduled to be the stroll in downtown. That's going to be Friday, October 31st, Halloween itself, 2:30 to 6:30. It's gonna be similar to past years with a loop in the downtown. We're spreading out our activities a little bit more this year. We're not using Town Hall Plaza. We wanna try to drive foot traffic to multiple nodes. We're also encouraging businesses to think about adult trick or treat ideas, right? So not just giving candy to the kids, but give coupons and promotions to the parents that are with them. Also strongly encouraging businesses to set up outside their stores. So it's a little bit easier for those adults with those little kids to engage with business owners when they actually do stop. We need volunteers for that day. We need a lot of hands to help. So please, if you're interested, please let me know. Again, October 31st, 2:30 to 6:30. We have another event to talk about. So item 3, s'more shopping. So we're gonna rebrand Winter Villages to focus on shopping. So it's gonna be called S'more Shopping. And the event's gonna be held, it's 2 Saturdays, December 6th and December 13th, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. Sunday will be the rain dates. That's gonna be at Town Hall Plaza like last year with our big igloos and fire pits and s'mores. We're gonna have a bunch of new on-site activities this year, but we're also going to be launching a social media campaign called It's Cold, Shop From Home. And we're gonna be trying to push folks to shop using our businesses' online presence. A lot of our businesses have really strong online presences. We want shoppers to know that. So we're gonna work on that, and more information will be presented as we get closer. Speaking of shopping local social media campaigns, we've completed 2. We have a 3rd one that we're currently filming. And so we're really trying to focus on getting people to understand the value of shopping local. I can't just rely on Tom Slattery. So we've done 2 campaigns, as I mentioned. The first one was focused on getting people to understand that Town Hall Plaza is not just a place for music and events, that there are businesses around it. And so we filmed probably about half a dozen videos where I spoke in front of every business in kind of walking distance. and explain what they do there. We also did a back to school campaign. We did 3 separate videos. One was focused on buying things for back to school. A second was on student-friendly businesses in the downtown. You grab a slice of pizza here, some ice cream here, as well as Upper Millburn Avenue. And then places to go for moms when kids are back in school. So health, wellness, boutiques, beauty, coffee shops, etc. Our next campaign, and Zach Minter, our part-time employees working on this, is gonna be a scripted testimonial. Consultant, what did I call him? Employee, no. Our part-time consultant.
Thank you.
It's a scripted testimonial about the importance of shopping local. At this point, we are anticipating that it'll be done in 14 different languages. So we're actually working with local business owners who are multilingual. And so Vicky Powell, recorded the English one, which is the first one. We're gonna be doing it in Spanish. Jesus Nunez actually recorded his from the art gallery. Chinese, Korean, American Sign Language, a whole bunch of different things. And that'll be someone speaking in the native language, and then it'll be text in that language in the Instagram post, as well as a translation in English. The goal being that, 40% of our community are immigrants, and we want to make sure that we are getting the word out in their native languages. So that's gonna be a pretty innovative one. We're working very hard on it, and you'll start seeing that roll out probably in early mid-October, something like that. We're just waiting on getting all of the.
That does overlap. I think Diwali is mid-October.
It is,
right?
yes.
October 11th.
On the economic development side,
Can I ask another
yes,
quick question? Sorry,
yeah.
go ahead. You said some more shopping is replacing Winter Villages? Rebranding. So from the sponsorship, Winter Villages line item, is that gonna, I mean, the grants or the sponsorship opportunities, are those gonna change as a result?
No, nothing changes. It's just the title that we're putting
Just
on.
the type? Oh, okay.
The title of the event.
Okay,
We felt that Winter Villages doesn't necessarily convey shopping, but more shopping sends the message of this is not just a place to hang out, but support the local businesses while you're there.
okay. Thanks.
It is a long report. It's been 3 months, sorry. And I don't get to take the summer off like this board does. So Essex County Public Art Grant, we applied for $10,000 as we do from Essex County every year. This is a little different this year. We actually are applying for a 5-year public art master plan. And the goal would be that would identify future locations, best practices, including mediums that we can use, public engagement and more. We expected a decision probably in November is when they typically come out with that. They don't give out the full 10,000, but that's what we apply for because that's the max. We usually get between 5,000 and 6,000. So once I know about that, you guys will hear it and then it'll be updated in the budget. But in the budget, we always say that's, pending the approval. We're working on a bunch of stuff with the township itself. 2 projects specific, or 3 projects, I should say. Abandoned properties and signage ordinances. So Alex McDonald, our township business administrator, has asked me to work with him and the township planner to perform a strategic review of ordinances that are related to abandoned properties and signage. It's a pretty robust and detailed process that will eventually require ordinance changes by the TC. But I just want to thank Mr. McDonald for being really proactive on this. It's something that we as a board have talked about for a long time. We don't have any power to do anything about it. In fact, I generally deal with problems because of it more than anything else. But we're working to make sure that we're encouraging property owners that have long vacant properties to do something about it, as well as simplifying a lot of the restrictions related to signage. Signage is a major issue for businesses when they open, and it's just something that should not be an issue. So we're working on diving into the ordinances and cleaning those up. I'm also working on the Main Street Transformation Grant, which Mr. Slattery addressed earlier. He described the project, as you guys know, it's downtown. We received funding from the state, $150,000. It's gonna be to improve the sidewalks on Millburn Avenue between Main Street and Lackawanna. It's actually predicated on the work that's being done at the Taylor Park Gateway, which is also right at that intersection of Lackawanna. It'll be essentially the same design. So once that project is done, we will then start our project. We obviously want everything to match. But we have been hard at work on some items that are independent, I should say. So utility location markouts, parking realignments, potential new pedestrian spaces. So Millburn Avenue will look different when all of this is done. We're gonna make the parking way more efficient. We're gonna make it safer for people to walk. There'll be lighting improvements as well as the sidewalk. The indication that I've received from Mr. McDonald is that they've gone through 2 failed RFP processes for Taylor Park. They're going through a 3rd one, which is not, I should say, they are now in the 3rd phase, which is not required to be an RFP. So my expectation is now the project's gonna move forward, and then ours will follow in close. Yes,
Steve, that could be on the left or right side.
both sides.
Both sides of the streets,
Both
because I know some of the sidewalks on both sides need addressing.
It's the old brick that's there, right?
Yeah.
The brick
It's
will be
not
removed.
even, right.
The brick will be gone.
Yeah.
That's the
There's
front.
issues on both sides.
Yeah, and so we're looking at some angled parking, we're looking at delivery only spaces, we're trying to, actually Zach did a great job on a signage consolidation program. We sat with the municipal engineer, looked at, there's just tons of excess signage that just makes it look cluttered.
Right.
Most of it can be consolidated, there are obviously signage rules on state and county roads, but working within that framework, we think we can reduce the signage by probably 30 to 40%. And just make it look better as a pedestrian experience. So that's all work that we're doing internally that doesn't necessarily have to follow the Taylor Park part of the program.
Right. And I know there's a lot of sensitivity to the tree on the by Taylor Park also.
That will not be touched by our project.
I just have 2
I wanna
questions.
talk about tree?
No, just that would be part of the Taylor Park Gateway project, so that would be separate from this.
Right.
But then the tree would be, when we get to that stage, totally protected as far as that project goes. Our township forester, J.C. Phelps, has been very involved in that project.
Any questions?
I just have a random question. The Urban Scoop, how are they doing?
They have run into some construction snafus, but I am in constant contact with their attorney, their architect, and their owner.
Okay,
They need a couple weeks. Things got delayed, but they will open. It is just been some challenges internally. They also had some permitting problems, and just getting everything filed away, so, but I am in constant communication with them.
sad they'll miss the ice cream season,
They will,
or part of it, so,
but that's why we're trying to make it easier to open a business here in Millburn.
yeah.
You had your finger on the pulse all summer, talking to a lot of businesses. What's your just ad hoc gut feel in terms of recession? How's the local economy doing, just from your perspective?
Boy, that's a popular question lately. You're gonna see some of it discussed in the budget. I tried to frame the budget in a way that addresses some major challenges. I think anybody that's dealing with food, those prices have skyrocketed. And anyone that deals with imports, even if it's, relatively small stuff, but, clothing from Europe,
Throw packaging into that.
packaging,
Paper bags.
anything, lumber, obviously, is gonna be a challenge for construction. I know that, businesses are now going to have to start reassessing what they do, what they sell, how they build out their menus. We are being very active with it. We are having meetings with business owners, going through these, offering one-on-one counseling. I connect people constantly with Union County EDC, who does pricing, profitability, guidance, connecting people to the New Jersey Business Action Center. We send out our document constantly that looks at, we talked about it here, whatever we're calling it now, the recession-proof document. I think also, we need to start expecting that there may be more vacancies, not necessarily because of internal finances, but
External forces.
if your lease is coming to an end and you need to make a decision on whether you want to sign a 5-year lease or not. If your business is negatively affected by the economics of the day, it's gonna cause you to think, maybe this is not the 5-year investment I wanna make. And so, we've always talked about the vacancy rate as like a nice indicator, but it's not the end all be all, right? There are conditions that cause people to go out of business that have nothing to do with the quality of the business. Cost of operations, because of where you get your goods, is very significant. And you go to the supermarket, you see how expensive things are, and it trickles down. And so I have had countless discussions with businesses in all different arenas, and we're giving them financial literacy assistance. You know, we're talking about, do you know about getting a line of credit? Do you know that the SBA is out there? Are you refinancing credit cards? Are you trying to renegotiate with your vendors? You know, there's so many strategies that we've provided them through our documents and we give them to everybody. But in the end, a 15 or 20% tariff on something you're buying from Italy or France or Spain is still 20% what it used to be. And there comes a point where, you know, as a consumer, you have to decide what you're gonna purchase. And unfortunately, that's out of my control.
And are we seeing any uptick in terms of service calls, or like in terms of our
Not an
business?
uptick, it's just crazy as always.
Yeah, I mean, well, is there any type of increase in calls that you're getting from local businesses seeking assistance?
I would say it's not necessarily an uptick. I think we fielded, I think the latest number is like 230 requests this year, you know, just in navigating government.
Yeah.
The one that has changed the most is real estate. You know, I used to get probably 15 to 20% every year were real estate related.
You mean looking for new
Looking for
spots?
space.
Looking for space.
That has dried up significantly. You know, it's just, again, I don't know how, I'm not sure how many people want to invest in a new space at this point. And I had a conversation with a very long-term business owner today, someone whom you all know, and he said, it's hard to figure out, the stock market's booming, but nobody wants to buy anything. I said, yeah, it's because, you know, the stock market's not the only indicator of economic health. You know, Main Street and Wall Street aren't always linked up.
Thank you.
Will, the Andy Says development have any retail space in there? I can't remember.
Not to my knowledge.
Okay,
Well, that brings us to our budget.
yes.
So I'll do it from here since it's a small, intimate crowd. I'm not gonna do it. So tonight is the budget workshop. That is the time for the board and members of the public to give their feedback on the budget that the executive committee, who are the three people sitting here, and I have worked on over the summer. So I'm gonna go through our income, our expenses. I'm also gonna discuss the changes between 2025 and 2026 and explain the new lines and services. There's no formal action that you guys will take as a board tonight, but please give me feedback, whether it's this evening or as a follow-up. And if needed, I'll make changes to the budget that we discussed tonight, and then there'll be a final vote at our October 23rd annual meeting. So that's our next meeting. That is our annual meeting where we invite all stakeholders and we present the budget. You guys take the final vote. Just as a note, and this is not available in the public packet, but you guys have it, there are draft contracts for legal and website services for 2026. So if you guys just look at those, we can talk about those offline, if there's any changes that are needed. In terms of the timeline, once the budget is approved by us at our October meeting, it then gets advanced to the township committee. The current schedule is introduction on November 12th. So myself, Stephen, Jackie, Richard will go and present. And then the final vote is scheduled for December 6th. And then it'll be concluded by the end of the year. I worked with the clerk on that, so we're set for those dates.
So is there a vote on October 23rd?
Yes, that is the final vote that you, as the board, will take to authorize me to advance this to the township committee.
And that meeting is at 5:30.
Is at 5:30. Are there any questions before I start? Okay. So income, and you guys should have it as attachment 7 in your packets. So the total projected revenue is $436,191. That represents an increase of $41,000 compared to the 2025 approved budget. The income sources are as follows. The special assessment will be $275,034. That's an increase of $31,000 from 2025. Sponsorship and grants are budgeted at $44,000, which is an increase of $9,000. That includes the Essex County Public Art Grant, which again is an estimate. The township's mandatory allocation towards the executive director's salary is $57,157. That reflects a $2,000 contractual adjustment. Of that, 1,000 is responsible for the town, the other in the city. We're also requesting $60,000 in discretionary contributions from the township. So this is of course up to them to approve. That includes $30,000 for World Cup activities. It's essentially a 1-for-1 swap because that's basically what they gave us for Town Hall Plaza this year. But we won't be doing Town Hall Plaza this in 2026. $25,000 to expand our street cleaning program. It's a $5,000 increase, so there'll be a couple of weeks of additional street cleaning. And then a new request for $5,000 to support streetscaping and planting efforts. We've taken on more and more planters over the years, and we just need a little bit more money. And then after we allocate the $20,000 contingency line, we have a total spendable budget. That's the key, the total spendable of $416,191. The assessment itself accounts for approximately 61% of the spendable budget. Township funds account for approximately 28%, and grants and sponsorship are approximately 11%. The assessment itself is calculated or is collected from 161 assessed properties within the district, and it's based on their assessed commercial value. I'm happy to answer these specific questions about how that process is figured out, but the way that I did it for this year is in order to estimate the rate, I looked at 2025 property values and I set a rate of 0.000971%. When you take the total property value and you multiply it by that 0.000971, you get 275,000. So that's a 14.5% increase, but that's from a 0.000841. So it's a large percentage for a very small number. So in real dollars, that actually represents an average increase of $217 per property, or an average of $18 per month.
And that was all approved last year? Well, no, the increase that, we went through that whole process, right?
We're asking for one again.
Yes, okay, got it.
So in terms of how the funds will be spent, staff compensation is $197,816. That's actually a decrease of $6,500. That's approximately 47.5% of the total spendable budget. The main change is $2,000 scheduled contract increase for the executive director compensation. And then there is the director of marketing and events position will be filled by a new person due to Amanda's departure. It'll be at a slightly lower rate. And then we're reducing the marketing assistant position from 2 people to 1 person. Non-staff operations will be $39,900, which is slightly up by about $5,700. It's approximately 9.5% of the total staff budget. That includes necessary services such as legal and audit services, technology and website management. That includes a $3,500 redesign and hosting initiative on our website, as well as the Main Street America Conference, other memberships. Those were actually bundled together in the 2025 budget. We're just breaking them out for clarity and transparency for 2026. Let's see here. Okay, then programs and services. So that's all of the things that we do in order to support local businesses and the things that you see day to day. That'll total $178,191, which is an increase of $36,345. So you see most or virtually all of the increase is for consumer facing programs. That represents 43% of the total spendable budget. Key initiatives include events and marketing at $46,500. Also a new digital marketing grant that's in partnership with the Paper Mill Playhouse that was approved by this board earlier this year. And then live music at the courtyard due to Town Hall Plaza construction. The World Cup, as I mentioned, we have $40,000 allocated, including $10,000 we anticipate to generate sponsorship. Streetscaping and plantings are budgeted $29,000, and then we want the $25,000 to do street cleaning that we request from the town. Finally, the executive committee has recommended launching a new business support program with a $20,000 allocation to help local businesses. That program still needs to be defined, but it'll likely include strategic marketing partnerships to help businesses, as well as micro grants and other programs. Specific to the 2026 events portfolio, Explore has built a strong, trusted, and recognizable brand through our highly successful signature events, and consistent, engaging social media presence. These efforts have established a foundation of awareness, built a robust contact list, attracted social media followers, and cultivated key partnerships, as you've seen tonight with the Mamas and Minis. However, after attending a session at the National Main Street Conference this year, it became clear to me that we need to evolve these events. While large-scale events have helped shape the identity of the organization and the town as a whole, we need to start focusing on events and initiatives that directly support our local businesses' bottom lines. Our new direction centers on one primary goal: driving local spending. We'll do this through implementing smaller, more frequent, and strategically targeted events designed to encourage transactional engagement, shoppers spending dollars in stores. In tandem, we're going to expand our digital footprint through innovative social media promotional campaigns that spotlight local businesses, highlight seasonal offerings, and create a sense of urgency and exclusivity around shopping local. It's not a step back from events, it's actually a step forward towards a more measurable impact. It's really important that we address what Stephen was asking about. There is a very, very significant shift in economics, and we need to pivot. And I think right now is the opportune time to do it. So you're gonna see a difference in the services that we provide next year. It'll still be that high quality of Explore, but it's gonna be focused on really trying to capture local spending. And so that's my budget presentation. I'm happy certainly to answer any questions.
Steve, I know that we've set aside or we proposed $20,000 to support local business.
Yeah.
How does that get fleshed out more? I mean, if there is a downturn coming or something, and if there's a negative economic outlook, does that mean like we're gonna maybe bring in speakers, motivational?
I'll give you an example actually of a company that approached me. And again, this is not to say we're doing this, it's just an example.
Yeah.
We have our business directory on our website is essentially static, right? You can search, but that's it. There's a company right now working with a couple of other SIDs, very nascent, but they build out an interactive directory. Businesses can upload their own specials on a weekly basis. And then you can also do, you can sign up as a resident for push notifications. So for instance, ABC Business, right, has a special that they want to promote. It's the Rosh Hashanah baked goods, right? They want people to know about it. If you're on that list and you've signed up to see that business, you will get a push notification on your phone. Hey, did you know that ABC Store is offering this benefit? There's no cost to the business to participate. The SID would pay the cost. The directory gets, it essentially replaces our existing one. It's integrated into our website, and then the businesses can manage the promotions themselves. It's a fairly nominal cost, but that's something where you could say, all right, we're gonna take this money and we're gonna sign up for this program, and now all the businesses can participate. That's kind of where I'm thinking is we need to be very aggressive and we need to be modernizing things. That's an example of something that might be money well spent because they can't do it individually, right? It's a group package.
Right.
And so they want the SID to manage it. So just an example.
I wanna take it a step further. Can we have an app? I know we had something years ago, but is that out of the question where you follow on the app?
I mean, the directory might actually serve the same purpose as the app, but yes,
Right.
conceivably you could.
Could you put the directory on the app? You could, right? I don't know anything about the technology and the hosting and the startup costs or any of that, but
But I think it's all part of the same conversation, right? Which is, we have a really good email distribution list of over 4,000 people. We actually have very good readership, very good, I should say, very low removal or opt out. Our social media, we're gaining followers like crazy. Our engagement is great. But there's like one extra step, which is getting from organizational awareness to business awareness. Right, and that was one of the themes of the talk I went to at Main Street, which is people don't know your businesses are there. They know the town is there, they may know the bid is there, but do they understand that the bid is there to support the businesses? And how do you transfer that message? And, the only reason we have over 5,000 followers on Instagram is because we do these really big events, and it's created a lot of foot traffic and a lot of buzz. But is that translating to dollars spent? I think the answer is probably not as much as we want. And so we're gonna start pivoting, right, and maybe spending some of that event money maybe on marketing, right? And so, do we need to spend $20,000 on a certain event when maybe it could be 10,000 and we actually spend 10,000 on some other marketing? So it's all stuff that we need to flesh out, throwing in that grant, that business support program as well. But this is about investing in getting people to go into our stores and shop. That is gonna be the absolute goal for 2026.
And also, I thought that all the workshops we've held have been very helpful, and I think if there is some type of downturn, things do get tougher. I mean, I think that a lot of businesses, might benefit from more workshops. Are you doing your digital marketing? Are you reaching out to your customers? Just kind of like reminders, things that you could do to take action.
There's actually a bunch of stuff that we have on our website. I just recorded a branding seminar, kind of like a podcast. We go on Zoom and we just interview.
Yeah.
And it's a 30-minute thing, just me speaking to someone. They're going through the processes of how to like kind of branding 101. So all that stuff is available. It's free. We don't pay for it. We got people that want exposure through us. And so we keep doing those as well. And we put that out in our weekly newsletter. It's on our resources page. We try to make it super user friendly.
Or Main Street might have resources too.
Right.
I haven't fully explored, no pun intended, what's available at Main Street website, or maybe they have speakers, they could.
Or resources for the
Yeah.
business. That's
Yeah.
true, that's true too. We just don't want people to feel isolated, or business to feel isolated if it gets tough.
Agreed. That's my report.
Any other questions from the dais regarding Steve's report?
Thank you
Okay,
guys for your help with the budget.
very well.
Thank you.
All right, so this will give us a little time to ruminate, come up with some other potential ideas for the month, right?
Yeah.
And
we're attending the conference in New Jersey.
Oh, you know what? That was actually on my list. Everybody here has a program for the Downtown New Jersey Conference. The annual conference is actually the day of our annual meeting, October 23rd. I will have a long day that day, as will Jackie, if she's coming. But if anybody's interested, please let me know and we can purchase a ticket for you.
In Flemington.
It's gonna be in Flemington this year, yeah. It's like 9 AM to 3:30.
8 AM.
Did I say 8 AM? That's if you get there for the breakfast. But yeah, let me know. Certainly, anybody that is on the board that isn't here, that watches this recording.
Oh, where is it? Okay, here it is, sorry, I missed it.
And we can go to public comment if you'd like.
Yeah. Public comment. The public is invited to provide comments at this point in the meeting. Clearly state your name for the record and limit your comments to 3 minutes. Prepared statements may also be sent to steve@exploremillburnshorthills.org. Please recognize that this is a business meeting and professional decorum must be maintained. If a speaker engages in disorderly conduct that disrupts the meeting or is meant to intimidate attendees, they will be asked to cease their comments. All questions must be directed to me, the chair. At the conclusion of public comment, members of the board may respond or ask staff or the attorney to do so. Staff and the attorney will not answer questions without a request from board members. Okay, public comment. Are there any on Zoom?
No hands are raised, but we have 3 people on Zoom, but no hands.
Okay, okay. I'll take it from the audience.
Jeffrey Phil, Short Hills, resident. Most of the attorney in their properties case, first of all, Shana Tova, to everyone in this holiday season. I just want to correct a few things. All the 3 transcripts have been provided to Mr. Rillo and your attorney. I hope they've been provided to the board. plus the motion to alter or amend Bear Properties or one oral ruling. I hope that you all can see, you'll see that. I would like to correct one comment that was made. The judge did not rule on whether Tara Prukas had a common law conflict of interest. She specifically caught that out of her ruling, and that's one of the reasons for having the motion for her to decide that issue. And whether you provided notice about the perpetual funding of the township of 50% of the salary and the additional discretionary fund when in 2020, the two candidates who ran on the Democratic Party said that no public monies would be used to fund the SID. Things that you might want to look into. The $1,000 overpayment to the SID, township committee approved like $3,500, but when the bill list came up, it was like $1,000 more. As to the July 26, 2025 Upper Millburn Avenue block party, through Oprah, we've discovered, going to the county and to the township, that there was no written permits or written authorizations for the county road closure. And the question is, will this board investigate how that happened? So that ties into when you had the street cleaning years ago, you never got permits for the use of the water. And we've been talking to the water department and various other things. Things have to be looking at it. One issue that's been revolving is about businesses in parking pirates. That if they get approvals from local land use boards, that they would buy permits. After they get the original permits, there's no way to police to see whether they're getting the permits for future other years, because there is a situation developing on Millburn Avenue. Also, some of the new businesses. There's been issues, if you look at the planning board's website, if there's a change in use, some applications, if you go from, let's say, a retail to a gym, that you had to get a change of use application. Some places they're doing it, some places they're not. People are making changes to the properties without getting the right permits. I told you issues. Also, you might want to look into one of the issues we always had about how this thing was created to get other districts. Look at Jersey City. Jersey City has several SIDs. There's an exchange place improvement district. If my time is up, but you need to look at it because that ties into the feasibility study. Judge Spencer fudged that issue, in my opinion, because she didn't take any evidence of what other municipalities did about getting a feasibility study. This precedes these two professionals being here. But when the organization was created, there was no feasibility studies. I know in Orange, when they wanted to have a SID, they had a feasibility study. When they wanted to do in Hoboken, in other municipalities, they've always had a feasibility study. And then the other question is, what's the status? Your minutes recorded, the ordinance review committee, what's the status of that? Because in February, the township committee said there was going to be a committee. Now we're almost at the end of September. What's the status? Is there going to be no change or no? Will there be changes? Thank you.
I think you pal, business owner. I can't believe I'm gonna actually say this, but I have to agree with Mr. Feld about the permits requirement on the businesses. When I had my business next door to Starbucks, it was in their approval from the planning board that they had to buy, I don't know, 5 permits. And it was every year I had to go to the town hall tax collector's office and see, did they buy the permits? Because they would always park on Millburn Avenue. It was a big bone of contention. So he's absolutely right. Somebody has to be monitoring these people. If they're told they have to buy permits, then it has to be enforced because we have a parking problem. I've said it before. So I have to say kudos to him. Okay, now I'd like to comment that I'm very, very upset that Amanda's leaving. It's very upsetting that we're going into the holiday season without a marketing director steering the ship for the holiday season. So I hope whoever we decide to hire, we get this going sooner rather than later because we're getting to a big season. Kudos to Amanda, she worked very hard and it's gonna be sad that she's gone, but I hope she's on to bigger pastures. So that was that. And then lastly, I don't understand, we just changed banks. Why are we going out again for banks? Erica is the management at M&T. She's on our board, she does or the other board.
She does a lot for the organization. You had the banking at another bank for 4 years. You changed it, now you wanna change it again, and I don't understand, hold on. And I don't understand why you're thinking or taking or inquiring about it for banks outside of the SID. We should be having a bank that's inside the SID, getting paid for the SID. We should be using a bank inside our SID. I just don't understand, I don't understand why we keep having this, it's like we go in circles on things. Let's focus on the thing, let's help the businesses, why are we going, let's try this again, let's try this. We just switched banks, why are we switching again? That's just my thought, that's it, thank you.
I'd just like to add, I want to commend Amanda. My time ran out. I really would record reflect that she did a great job. And I appreciate it. I think all the businesses in town really want to give her a shout out and best of luck to her.
Thank you. Would you like to take the banking question
Do we have
or?
any- We have one hand raised.
Oh, okay. Do you want to take the banking question or I can, or you can?
Well, why don't we
Let's
wait
try
for
it.
the question?
Let's have the other question.
Hi, good evening, Terry Urso. On the agenda, there was a presentation, I'm not sure if I missed it, about the Upper Millburn Avenue promotional brochure.
It was canceled, it was postponed.
It was postponed, Mr.
Okay, so I just wanted to add though, clearly that there's a strong concentration on Upper Millburn Avenue for obvious reasons, but why are the other districts not being considered as part of that, and considering that they're paying into the SID? Also, it was stated the Upper Millburn Avenue block party was said to be, there was more than 1,000 attendees. Does this body condone events without obtaining prior necessary approvals? And who on this body, which I find it's very, very important. I know we talked about reports on the tariffs. So I have to ask our chair, what mechanism are you putting in place as you did in 2020 during the height of COVID? It was suggested now for the upcoming 2026 SID budget that you want to raise the budget. So you're trying to help the merchants. You want to put the burden back on the property owners. I think that has to be rethought out before any of you consider approving that. And lastly, it's very important. I need to know who on this body approved the executive director's August 19th social media post on the Explore page and Happy Millburn. So I will stay tuned because I want to hear which members of this dais approve that type of video to be aired. Thank you very much and have a nice night.
That's all.
Thank you.
You can take notes on a number of things, or I could do the bank.
Why don't you handle the bank and then if you want me to answer anything, I can.
Sure, yeah, so. We did a little math, and compared to the interest rates that we could be earning on the balances, it was about $4,000 on average. The interest rates change all the time. So one of the many factors is the money we may be leaving on the table in connection with our budget, of course, balanced with the engagement and the volunteerism and the support for the SID and the community at large. So that's just one factor that we need to consider, but in good faith, we need to take a look and see what's available out there. In order to, as a nonprofit, if we're leaving money on the table from, earning interest on these balances, which are the members' money, right? It's taxpayers' money. We'd really like to see what the options are out there. So that's why. And
we didn't have that $150,000 grant.
that's the other.
That's what's changed that has precipitated the potential to look at other options. Now, Vicky, in all honesty, we're in the looking phase. We haven't made any business decision. We're just gathering facts, and then we'll decide what's best for the organization, for the community, and then make the business decision. But the impetus is to look at it a year later is because it's 150. Before the incremental benefit of the interest income was nominal.
Well, rates were very low as
The
well.
rates
I mean,
were
they
very
were-
low
they
and
were-
and we didn't have $150,000 account balance. So for those two reasons,
Where's the what's the 150?
from the grant that we got.
So it just sits in your bank account, you don't use it?
It sits in the bank account for a large portion of the year until it is.
Yeah, we received we have $75,000 from the state.
$75,000 right now.
It could be a lot of interest. So we're just trying to be careful.
Judicious with
Yeah.
with the grant money.
Right, and for the record, I also, I agree, Erica is terrific, I see her participation in our programs, her sponsorships, I mean, she's been a
It's
M&T
a
Bank.
community partner.
M&T Bank has been a very good partner for us, and I'm the first to tell you that, I think she's terrific. So, but I think we're just doing our due diligence because the amount of money that we're gonna be holding on to.
Was there anything specific you wanted me to answer? Oh,
No,
and yes, parking permits,
Parking.
Yes.
so you-
we are
Yes.
aware.
Is that
We
a
are-
Tim, is that a Tim, you should, Tim address that.
it's all Tim's fault.
Well, now
Is that Tim on the spot?
Now the board has asked the staff to opine. This is a constant issue. It is virtually impossible to regulate the parking pass program. I don't even know how to describe how complicated it is. I mean, not just because someone's an employee, for instance, let's just use an example. I think Vicky said Starbucks, right?
Yeah.
So Starbucks has to get 5 employee passes. Well, what if they have 10 employees? What do you do with the remaining 5? In theory, they can park on the street, feed the meter. Now, the problem is, if they feed the meter, right, you can park up to 3 hours, move the car, park for another 3 hours, there's no violation, right? And so, do we have people that feed the meter and don't move the car? Absolutely. Should they be ticketed? Absolutely. But if you have someone that is working for 9 hours, most parking is 8 to 6, right? So you're looking at 10 hours. So let's say they work 9 hours. They move their car 3 times and they pay 3 times. They haven't violated anything. So until we address that in the ordinance, which I believe Mr. McDonald is working on, it's a bad system where people can cheat it. We are working on some things internally with Mr. McDonald about incentivizing parking in the parking deck for business owners and business employees. It's just a very complicated system to manage because we have thousands of people who work, in downtown and Upper Millburn Avenue where the bulk of the on-street parking occurs. So I don't think there's a panacea, but I do think there are strategies that we're working on. But enforcing people, I think the first thing is changing the ordinance to not allow people to stay over 3 hours. If you want to stay over 3 hours, you can't do it on the street. You got to go to a parking deck. Similar issue, and Alex and I were talking about it this week. Lot 1, which is the clock tower lot, is extremely busy. It's full almost every day because it's a surface lot. The parking deck has 150 open spaces, right? But we get people who, and I know this for a fact, people that work in local businesses will park there for 3, 4, 5 hours, feed the meter. But we really want that to be for people that are shopping or, jumping right into live breads and coming out. Maybe we reduce the amount of time you're allowed to park in lot 1, which would then force longer term parkers to park literally next door in the parking deck. Those are all things that have to be done via ordinance. They have to be done by the township committee. I think the township committee is aware of these things. And so I would say that, yes, Mr. Feld and Ms. Powell are absolutely correct. And I think they should bring their complaints to a higher body. But,
Yes, but also,
Okay.
you're leaving a lot of money on the table, because I bet you Starbucks didn't get those 5 permits that they're required to get, and no one's checking them.
I think that's absolutely true.
You're losing money.
I don't know who in township
It
administration
was
would
the
be
tax
responsible for
collector
that.
that always is, and if you want I have it in my files, because I got it when they first opened, because I was having a problem.
I could definitely talk to the tax assessor and Alex and see if, I'm sure a report can be run.
Yeah,
You know,
because the
determine-
businesses have to put out that they're businesses to get permits. They have to state the business they work in. So if Starbucks did not buy their 5 permits, they get fined, and Alex used to fine them or have the tax collector fine them, and they paid for permits. You're losing money.
Yeah, and I would say, and Alex, I literally spoke about this week. We have more than enough parking in the downtown, and we also have more than enough parking on Upper Millburn Avenue. It's where people choose to park, and I think the lot 1, lot 2 question hits the nail on the head. We gotta get people out of surface lots and get them into the parking deck.
Yeah.
I think once you do that, you're gonna start seeing people move. And so part of that is also making sure people are getting the parking passes they're required to get, and that those parking passes, that people are parking legally and going where they're supposed to go.
And another layer that has exacerbated the situation is the Uber Eats drivers or the
Yeah.
DoorDash drivers that are just sitting in a parking space waiting for their next pickup and on their phone and just, idling in a parking space.
Yes.
And,
But maybe there could be some marketing to, maybe there could be some town marketing to get people to park in the parking deck, there's capacity there, or businesses, I mean, it's almost like a strategy, how do you free up those spaces, so we have our shoppers, for the businesses, right, I mean, that's the whole.
I think if what Alex and I talked about, and again, I don't wanna talk about it publicly because it's in the early stages, but I think we've hit a solution. And he's gonna advance it to the township committee.
okay, is there any other public comment?
No other public comment, but if it's okay, would I be able to respond about the Upper Millburn
Yes,
closure?
please.
So, this came up at the August 12th Township Committee meeting, and at that time, I indicated that it takes a lot to close down the street. It's obviously a lot of coordination between police department, fire department, so on and so forth. Our traffic bureau is very experienced in closing down roads, whether it's for Memorial Day, President's Cup, Lunar New Year. We let plenty of events that Chamber of Commerce has held in the past. And as per its usual procedure, on July 16th, the Traffic Bureau informed the County Engineer's Office of the closure. So just wanted to clarify that for the record.
Thank you very much.
He never produced anything pursuant to it. Take care, everyone. Have a good holiday.
That was from the Traffic Bureau, it would not have been part of the open request that was filed.
Yeah.
To the county.
Thanks for clarifying.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
May I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned. Our next meeting will be Thursday, October 23rd at 5:30 p.m.